Thank God it's Monday.
Good morning, EJ. Hey, look, Lola's up here.
Well, hello, Lola.
Say hello, Lola.
I did.
Oh, she's snobby.
Oh. The dogs. What's going on, everybody? That's my TK. What's
The
up, Dr.
dogs.
Dane? We've got Rob Jones early up in Texas.
That's it. Good morning.
Jeremy the same. He meant, instead of boredom, Dan meant morning.
Oh,
Well,
sometimes that's the same thing, right?
that's Monday for you. Good morning, Adam. Take your dog to work day. Joe's joining us. Bob, what's up? Joe?
Bob?
Oh, we got lots of good mornings this morning. How about that?
They're looking to us to inspire. So why don't we just let them know right now it ain't happening. It's not happening today.
Well, we're talking about procrastination.
That's
right. What a topic for Monday. That's like the perfect topic for Monday, isn't it?
It is. It is. And, you know, we lived out last Monday. Remember what last Monday's topic was with you and
I? It was great. I can't remember it.
It was because you had to forget, right? It was positive thinking. And I swear to you, all week long, all the managers, the leaders in my company, they were just all having individual moments of negativity. And it was a great week because we talked about it. So I was prepared to be the inspiration and encourager to say, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay.
Did you run out of positivity?
No, I didn't. Well, maybe my wife might have said so on Friday night, but you know, besides that, I endured the whole week, but it was definitely needed. So let's see if procrastination becomes part of Action Appliance's game plan this week. So.
Well, we were talking in the pre-roll that just because I like when Zach says that, it sounds really professional when we were talking in the pre-roll. Yeah. So Action by Jay had a motto for procrastination, right?
Yeah, he'd always remind me, right? He'd say, you know, something good done today is better than something perfect completed tomorrow.
And then we both related with the spirit animal topic of why do today what you can put off till tomorrow.
I'm telling you, love that one.
We've got to talk about this here today, the difference between good and bad procrastination. And the funny thing is, as we get into it, you'll see that there is positive procrastination.
Absolutely.
But some of us, like me, end up falling into the trap of positive procrastination.
That's it.
And it becomes negative procrastination. So, I don't know.
Did we procrastinate and not put a verse together for today?
Yes, we did.
No, or maybe we're just overusing the word procrastination. I think we just completely forgot about it. So we'll.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Right. Well, let me. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Well, I'll pray us in, and we'll let the prayer be the prayer.
Do it.
Good morning, Lord. It is Monday, and it is a day where we are, as brothers and sisters, hanging out here through YouTube. So, God, we thank you for all those things that help us stay connected. Lord, I think of my conversation with Bob last week or the week before, and just scheduling time to network and talk. And he made my day by just hanging out with me for a little bit. And so, God, we just pray that these morning grinds have that same sort of effect, that they encourage, that it encourages one another, and that it sets us up for a day to be a good, positive impact on our customers, employees, family, friends, neighbors, and enemies. And so, God, we lift this time to you, and we thank you for all. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Good. Yeah, I had great interactions with Bob this weekend, too.
Yeah.
Great guy.
Oh, my gosh.
we've been doing the mastermind, the Q1 mastermind for the Service Alliance group, and Bob is in one of them. And gosh, we're it's getting rolling. It was kind of a slow start, laying the groundwork, the foundation. That's the hard stuff. And then now we've got the foundation set. It's rolling. Goals are being set, and they're being attacked. And some of them guys are in this are watching us live right now, and it's charged me up. It's got me positive, and I'll tell you, it has helped with my procrastination. This past week, we did KPIs. So we discussed the importance of KPIs and how to track different things, what kind of things you should be tracking. And it's been one of my goals this year to improve upon my KPIs. And I haven't actually tracked any KPIs since October. Did I say that out loud? So I've been procrastinating. Positive procrastination. Let's get that. Positive procrastination, according to this book. Here's what we're doing.
According to this book right here, I love that. That's the best endorsement ever. And EJ accented this book.
I love that when you make fun of my accent, I take it as a compliment.
Oh, I hope so.
So according to this book right here, Business Ground Rules, an example of positive procrastination is when you legitimately need some mental percolation time to gather your thoughts. Negative procrastination is based on a flimsy excuse to avoid doing something now.
Yeah.
And I want to read this other part here because this is where I fall in. If we're being completely honest, which I am, that's what I always do. People who use planning to avoid action often get tangled in an unhealthy emotional cycle of evaluation and analysis paralysis. Preparation and planning are important, but excessive preparation is nothing more than procrastination. It's that simple. So I was not doing my KPIs because it was hard. But I had said, I got to plan it all. I got to prepare. I got to do all this. I got to lay the foundation. I got to do all this. And I did it Friday because the mastermind was on Saturday.
Of course.
Last minute, like any self-respecting business owner, we do it last minute. But it's done.
Yeah.
I feel better.
Yeah.
And it's really good here. Wait, praying for your back, brother. And then it says this: don't let EJ tell you bless your heart. It's the hint is it's not really a nice thing to say.
Oh.
So in the country, when you say bless your heart, that either means we feel bad for you or gosh, she's an idiot.
Well, I'm going to take it as a compliment.
What's the name of the book that you're reading? It's called Business Ground Rules. Be Great in Business. 100 Lessons for Success. So I'll say I do that over preparation a lot. And you had mentioned Jay's phrase. I can't remember it, but I get the gist. But this book mentions production before perfection.
Right.
So it says it doesn't have to be perfect to get it going. Get it going and perfect it along the way.
That's right.
And this is my struggle. We've talked about it before. Me and TK are a great team because I struggle to start and he starts everything and don't finish. I struggle to start, but I can finish. And so we work well together. He comes up with great ideas and starts them. And it's a great start. He's got a lot of brainstormed ideas, and he just throws out all the ideas,
Yeah.
and and then he gives them to me, and I'm the integrator. I make something out of it.
Yep, that's a great super duo party there. Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah. So, how are you in procrastination? Are you a positive procrastinator or a negative procrastinator?
I'm definitely a procrastinator, but this reading this chapter made me think a little bit about it because we have to understand the whys behind it, right?
Yeah.
Like around the house, I might procrastinate projects and things, and I think it's because I have zero interest in doing them. So
You mean because your wife made a list ain't good enough?
you know what? If she made a list, she'd probably be a bit more of a nag, but she doesn't make a list either. So we're not hoarders, but we just have like half done DIY projects around the property or the house that just won't get finished because I don't have a strong desire to do them. Which is not how I feel at work. At work, I'm super inspired and want to get a lot of things done. So it is kind of a strange thing, like when I was a technician, I wouldn't keep my van. So was this procrastination? I wouldn't keep my van clean, and I would just do it as little as possible. And then I'd procrastinate it when it's got a little out of control. And then all of a sudden it was a gigantic mess and it's overwhelming. Right.
And then you procrastinate even more because it's a huge mess.
Yeah. I was watching on Facebook, somebody's group, where they hate when people, customers follow you out to your van. And I was like, oh my gosh, I hated that, But at work, I had to really think about situations like in 2020 when COVID hit and we lost 4 technicians in the first few months of the year. I procrastinated on hiring people, and I was overwhelmed there. But I think I was distracted by all the COVID and the guidelines and making sure everybody's happy and safe. And I look back on it and I wish I had run the ad right away, because what I realized from that example was, I lost 6 to 8 months of potential revenue and taking care of customers. But as soon as I ran the ad, the candidates started coming in through the software program. The self-propelled momentum caused me to then have to meet those people, which then I had to make a decision to hire them and bring them on board and train them. And so doing that first step or two, even if you don't have any strength, just do it, will get you started and get you through it. Right.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Oh, it does. And it's hitting me because I signed up for that career plug.
Yeah.
Asti. I did the free trial, and it's
Yep.
so cool. So I made an ad, and of course with the premium version that they did on the free trial, they posted everywhere, and I got a dozen or so applicants, and probably 4 to 5 were really solid, and that's it. That's all I got. So I'm preparing.
Yes.
I'm preparing myself for hiring somebody, and I'm a little nervous about it. So sometimes the procrastination is, it's either fear or laziness usually, right? Now, Kyle was mentioning here. I want to encourage Kyle here for a minute. If you did the whole house, but the bathroom, so you skipped the hardest part, right? But I don't know if it's procrastination. You did a lot.
Yeah.
You have to answer yourself. Did you quit before you needed to because it was hard, or because you worked your butt off all day? Now, don't make excuses now, Kyle. Uh, Dan says procrastination cost me thousands last year. It does, and that's when you're talking about business ownership and running a business. Uh, Taking your time to make decisions is good until it's not good, right? You want to make the right decision, but I use it as a crutch to procrastinate because I'm afraid. So fear or laziness are the most commonly associated emotions with procrastination. Negative
Yeah.
procrastination, and a lot of mine is fear. Like I don't hire somebody else now because I know that come April and May I'm going to need somebody else, but I don't know if I can afford it right now.
Well, I mean,
And
those are valid reasons to be caught. Like this whole planning to do something. This is what you're currently doing. Is you're going. I know I'm going to need someone for the busy season, and so you begin to plan this thing out. I do think that at some point, if it's a lot of work, we can be a little overwhelmed, right? And that planning crosses the line and becomes procrastination. But I think you're on to something. I think fear for different reasons, like putting off Kyle, putting off cleaning the bathroom. He could be afraid of something in that bathroom, but probably not, right? But I think when it comes to business and personal decisions and relationships that are difficult or complex, or there's an issue, there's a fear that plays a part into it, right? Fear of failure is one that I can think of. I mean, a lot of us have it, or maybe don't realize we have it. Do you ever struggle with fear of embarrassment, EJ, of it not going exactly well or perfectly with your team or with your family?
yeah, I mean, my business, our business's reputation is huge.
Okay.
It's very important, and because of the funds and the lean way that we started and run, every decision matters.
Mm.
Like a big decision like hiring too soon or too late could cripple it. Last year I ended up in this spot, and I've talked about this several times. I hired two guys within 3 months for my first two, and then we went to the slow season, and I almost lost it all. I
Mm.
couldn't afford to pay the payroll taxes. I've been paying them all year, trying to catch up, and I don't mean to scare anybody, but that is my fear, and I want to hit something else on the fear, and I want to turn you back loose. People think of fear in one sense, like it's scary, right?
Mm.
Like a scary movie, or you're terrified of something. Fear comes in all types of uh, forms. So fear could be laziness, fear of missing out. I don't want to clean the bathroom because this TV show's on, or I don't really feel like doing it. Different things can happen because of what people think of you. You're worried about what people are going to think of you, like you said. Uh, Fear of losing your money. I'll tell you, cleaning your van out, right? Uh, we had to clean all three vans out back in September and do an inventory. I can't ask the guys to work a Saturday because that's their family time. So we did it on a weekday. Now, do we run 8 calls and then come back and do inventory all day? No. I had to close a day on the schedule for our whole team to do it. I procrastinated the crap out of that because that means I'm losing income for a whole day, and I'm paying guys for their time. I'm paying them to not make me money in hopes that it will come back later.
Yeah, well, that's fear of you're going to lose revenue, right? When you're all off for a day, so you're losing, you're going to lose revenue there, and you've already acknowledged that was something kind of scary already this past year. Is that and I think that's a healthy fear. So I almost wonder if it's not necessarily procrastination in that moment. I think if you want to, I'm even thinking out loud because procrastination is part of my nature at my whole life. Wanting to watch a Netflix show instead of cleaning my bathroom, that's not a fear of missing out on a show. I think that's, or keeping my van clean. I think it's just me not recognizing what's important and prioritizing what I think is more important in my life. That I definitely struggle with as well, right?
Fair.
So I think fear of failure, fear of you losing your business, that's a legitimate fear, and that could cause procrastination if there's a way for it to happen, right? The Elon Musk approach, just balls in and just go for it and take
Yeah.
chances, or playing it safe. Fear of embarrassment. Would you, again, you didn't really answer, you kind of sidestepped on me. If your company, if your employees and friends, which they are both to you, saw that something you tried didn't work out or the plan went awry, would you be embarrassed by that?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and it's, you remember that conversation we had a while back about coins in the bank?
Sure.
I mean, you lose some credibility.
You
Uh,
do.
so, I mean, I felt like I answered it. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, absolutely.
Yeah, okay, but I'm going to tell you
Your
something that
credibility.
I think if it's couched appropriately, like Action Appliance, we decided to triage, even though we don't have a parts distributor, and there were 100% COD business. So we have nobody in the state to get parts from. We have to ship it all in, and I procrastinated on doing it because, I procrastinated on really diving into, say, does it really help this? Would it really help us or not? And I just automatically just blew it off. And part of me thought there is something there that could really help us. And I just put off diving into it because I realized it was going to be a lot of work and a lot of planning to make it happen, instead of just me going, oh, well, those guys in Chicago, those guys in Texas that have every distributor around the corner, though, that's not us. But we could overcome that. We did overcome that. We are in the process of it. And I had to make sure I let my leaders know, my service managers, let's prepare for some wrinkles. Told my parts people, let's prepare for some problems. And we can't anticipate them all. Let's launch it and see what happens, right?
Absolutely.
You
I'll
know
say,
one that really kills me, that really
what's
will
that?
stifle me and cause me to not want to move forward with an idea or something or plan, is the voices in my head of my people, my technicians. Remember,
Yeah.
the grassroots human beings on the entire earth are appliance repair technicians.
Yeah.
Sometimes as I'm thinking things through and I want to launch something, I can hear a chorus of whiners, which
Oh,
isn't
yeah.
fair because they're not really whiners, but it's how they are a little bit, but it's how I portray them all doing it at the same time. That overwhelms me. And I think to myself, I don't know if I want to bite that one off because I'm going to have to fight off 12 to 15, 16 guys, which is a lie. It's a lie. It's not true.
Yeah.
But
Well,
that's one of the things, because I get overwhelmed. How about that? That's another reason why you might procrastinate, is you're literally overwhelmed.
so
Right.
do you wonder if when you are going through that emotion, are these changes and moves that you maybe aren't 100% confident in? Because as you're talking, I'm feeling it myself. I got a complainer,
Mm.
uh, and when I change things, I believe in it.
Mm.
But I, is it 100%? Like sometimes I'll just make a move and like, yeah, let's do it,
Yeah.
and I don't think about it at all.
Mm.
Uh, and then they're like, well, why would you do that? I'm like, and I'm not as confident in the response.
Sure.
Uh,
Yeah, that
so
happens.
I'll tell you, as you are as you're explaining the things that I was saying before, it's hitting me in the gut, like almost like you're enabling me. I want you to receive this the right way, but I make those I make those justifications that when I'm procrastinating something, and that's why I say you really have to check yourself.
Yeah.
Is it because you really want to plan it? Planning is great. Planning and preparation is great ideas. But there's a thin line where you can step over it and not even know.
Yeah, of course.
I'm just afraid to make the move.
Yep.
And you know, you mentioned the pre-diagnosing, and it was the same for my moving Mike to the office and doing an inventory.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's going to cost you money.
Yeah.
And you don't want it to be wasteful any bit of time.
Right.
It's like I end up having to pay Mike in the office for 3 or 4 weeks, and he wasn't as productive as I could justify. Before I finally figured out, and I planned and planned and planned. And you're probably going through the same thing with your country guy from North Carolina. Knows how the voice changed then. North Carolina. Yeah. It's kind of like when you say Minnesota. You have to say it like that. It's a rule. But there's time where you're paying good money for qualified, skilled labor that ain't making you any money.
Yeah.
And you planned and planned and planned and procrastinated, and it's still not enough planning.
Yeah.
But you do it because it needs to happen. And then you figure out how to make it work when you get there, right?
Well, I like how you're describing that one, because I got to say that before I met Ginny and Joe and we got into a mastermind, I would say that my overall goal setting and planning was chaotic. If I had the energy, if it was slow, I would just go at 5 different things at once, and I would get most of them done. But some things not as efficient, like you said, with Mike coming off the road, there was a period of time that he wasn't as efficient. If looking back on that, could you have had a different plan or a better way for Mike to transition? Maybe, maybe not. That's a little bit of Monday morning quarterbacking. But literally with our mastermind group and setting goals, I'm very focused on where I'm putting my energy. And I want that task now, that goal to succeed. And so I'm communicating better with the team. We have purpose. We have sub tasks or sub goals to hit and to measure and to talk it through, because it's not just my thing anymore. It's now a team thing. So we have to make sure we're on board as a team. It's more work, but it just seems a lot smoother than when I was just trying to throw stuff on the walls and make it stick. So yeah. I would say that procrastination, the way I used to feel it, is kind of changing and diminishing a little bit because of the mindset that people like Ginny has put into my head. So, and because sometimes we might label something procrastination because it's the place that we landed because we were unorganized. We're in this mess, and now we got to get out of it. I don't feel like getting out of it right now, right? Now we procrastinate because we're overwhelmed, because maybe we don't know how to get out of it. I'm not in that particular situation now, or haven't been in that situation for a while, where I don't know how to get out of it. I'm in the situation of trying to get things done and stay on task, so.
I love that.
Yes, Paul's got a great point, and that's at the heart of what Ginny's sort of mindset is. You have a big goal, and then you figure out how many steps are in between, and those steps are called small goals, and you bang one out at a time, and then you're walking down that road and that path. And now when a hiccup comes along, you're focused singularly on that. I've set aside in that week an hour and a half to work on this particular project. And if a curveball comes, I've got the time to work on it instead of just sliding it over on my desk. So I think procrastination is definitely an effect of being unorganized. Just figured that all out right here.
Yeah. And if you're not careful, you can use that as a crutch.
You totally can. That's
I
right.
need
Well, that's
more time to organize. I love your segues because we talked a little bit about positive procrastination that could lead to negative. We talked a lot about negative procrastination, but what do you do to get out of it?
Yeah.
And you know, we talked about the production before perfection. Do something so that you can get started and then perfect it later.
Mm-hmm.
Jay's great quote that you used. Now, how do you make it happen? Self-discipline gets you so far, right? And we've learned that we're both self-disciplined in our roles. We don't have somebody over top of us the whole time, but we still do our jobs, right?
Yep.
And I'll say the accountability is a big deal.
Yep.
And people that you have in your winner circle is a big deal. Miss Ward.
You say winner?
Yeah, I always say winner circle.
Okay.
Miss Ward's in my winner circle. You are. So, and again, it's because if you have an inner circle and you use it and you select the people properly, you're going to be winners. So we're calling it the winner circle.
Love it.
So we came out of ASTI and we had all this crap in our heads. And on top of the stuff that we left a week before.
Yeah.
And walked away from, right? And Jenny in her brain dump session showed us how to get all the crap out of our head and onto paper.
Mm-hmm.
And then organize and prioritize it. And I'll tell you, the strength that we've had in our mastermind group has been amazing. The growth just in the last 2 months or a month since we've been back from ASTI and with Jenny's help, we have dialed in. And you know, back to Saul here. This is what we do in the mastermind groups. You identify the big things that you need to do, and then you prioritize them, and you set small goals, small weekly actionable tasks that you can do, and then you have regular accountability meetings. And I'll tell you, there's a reason you do it weekly and not monthly, right? When did I do my KPIs?
The days before the meeting.
Okay. So if you set a goal for a month to report back to somebody in a month, when are you going to do it?
Right before. Yeah.
And if you do it weekly, when are you going to do it?
Right before.
So it's almost like if you did it daily, you'd be even more productive, right?
That's right.
So
That's right.
We meet weekly, and then
let me just say that go back to Saul's point, because right in the middle is the most important thing. We get so discouraged and frustrated and overwhelmed, and it's all in our own control. It's in our hands to feel that way. We have to forgive ourselves when we fall short. We need a nudge and a push, but we need people to also remind you of what you're good at. And then you just need to reset and start again. You got to forgive yourself. Thank you, Saul, for that.
Absolutely. And this is Miss Ward. Shout out to Miss Ward. Solid Steps to Wealth. Our regular Friday morning co-host. Sometimes you just don't want to do it, and you end up paying for that delay. And this is why this matters too. We can do together what we can never do alone. And thanks for that, Bob. You know, when we're together and we are holding each other accountable, we do have that grace where we understand you might have a bad week, but we got to drive you to, all right, so what are you going to do this week
Yeah.
to make sure last week don't happen again?
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, it gives me energy going through the other mastermind group that we lead in with the Service Alliance group. Some of the guys here, Bob, Jeremy, Gasper's in there, Adam. I'm missing some, but they're coming with goals and things that they want to do. Dr. Dan, big things, and I'm having to reproduce what we did with Jenny.
Mm-hmm.
What is going to make the biggest impact right now? Like I'm a firm believer of that. The low hanging fruit that makes the biggest difference.
Yep.
Knock it out.
Yep.
Get it done. All right. What's stopping you from doing this?
Mm-hmm.
What do you got to do that? This is what you need to do this week.
Yeah.
And sometimes we have to direct that. Sometimes we come and we already have the plan.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes you come into the group and you're like, I got all this stuff and I can't see it. But when you spew it all out and you're picking through it, everybody else can see it better.
Yeah.
So you can't do it by yourself. Miss Ward needs a mastermind. Well, you know where to go, Miss Ward. We love you. We got you in the winner circle.
Yeah, and I think as you talk about that inner circle of people in your life, it's a powerful place, and it has to be respected, right? If you're not doing your part, it's got to be spelled out before it happens. Of course, if you're not doing your part, if you're not coming to the table doing what you say you're going to do, there's got to be consequences. That group, your group, they need to know that if you don't show up, if you don't hit those goals, we're going to dive deep because we care about you. We're going to see if we can inspire you. But if you can't do it after a certain period of time, you kind of got to cut those people loose, I think, because they can bring the rest of the group down. They can change the momentum of the group, So it's a real fine line of love and then of execution, right? And so with knowing it before you start, that those expectations are high and with very much a lot of intent, then I think you set everyone up for success, So I'm not afraid to get canned out of our mastermind group, but I know that the consequence could be that I lose this networking power and friendship if I don't contribute like I should.
Yeah. It's, not everybody can be in the winner circle.
Mm-hmm.
It's a circle. You got to get in or you got to get out. And what I was saying last month, motivating myself and my team about the changes we're making,
mm-hmm.
where we're going, not everybody can come with us.
Mm-hmm.
And some people, if you ain't doing the work, you don't get to come. You may come later, and you may come in a different winner circle,
mm-hmm.
but when you're in, you got to be in. And we built that relationship in our group that you don't want to let the others down.
That's right.
And that's what's important. It's not just a group of people that say, hey, you suck, do more, but we care.
Yeah.
We care about each other to help each other grow, and we care about each other to not fail for them.
Agreed.
Doug, it's Monday.
Happy Monday.
And we got to get some stuff going. Now, the theme is set, just like last week with you, Doug. Make sure that Action Appliance is not procrastinating negatively. And I'm wanting to do the same.
Yes.
So we're going to hold each other accountable through the week of our progress we're going through. And we'll be back. You'll be back tomorrow.
Yep.
Zach. I'll be back on Friday with Miss Ward, but we got something for you every weekday. Bible and business, encouragement, love, prayer. We want everybody to win.
Mm-hmm.
Till next time.
Have a good week, guys.